Hey boo, welcome back to the Slay Girl Slay YouTube channel. My name is Ashley and I am the founder of Slay Girl Slay and host of the Slay Girl Slay podcast, and I'm so glad that you're here. One thing I feel like a lot of people don't really know about me is that I love to read. Since I was a kid, you could always find me with my nose somewhere in a book, probably munching on a PB&J. Today, I wanted to share some of my current favorite books that I've read in the last few months. Last year, I made a goal to read at least one book a month. Now, I did not hit that goal, but I am trying again for 2022 because if at first you don't succeed, boo, dust yourself off and try again. I don't know if y'all like reading. I know some people have a love-hate relationship with it. Obviously, there are so many benefits to reading, like reducing stress. It helps fight depression. Reading lowers your blood pressure and your heart rate. It improves your brain function, all of which are really cool. But these days, I read to stay off my phone. I was noticing just how much I was grabbing my phone throughout the day and just mindlessly scrolling. My screen time is ridiculous, y'all. And I'm just consuming so much content and the internet just feels so loud these days. So I said it was time to put the phone down and pick up a book. Now, these are just my recommendations. Everyone is entitled to their own opinions about the books or the authors. But I appreciate being able to hold a copy of what someone probably spent years writing and thinking through. Like when you hold a book, y'all, this is someone's dream. This is someone's baby. And whether I liked their book or not, I still appreciate the hard work and the effort that they put into sharing it with the world. And I hope you can too. Now, first book that has continuously snatched my edges every time I picked it up to read a chapter is Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. Y'all, if you need a good kick in the butt, do not walk, run and get this book. I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but in short, David shares these journeys that he's been on throughout his life and how he's been able to achieve this level of mental toughness that I think every single person can benefit from. In this book, he gives it to you straight, like there is no fluff at all. And this book kind of forces you to get honest about your life and what you want. And it also kind of forces you to stop looking for the easy way out of things and enjoy the hard parts. I just finished this book. Now I'm about to listen to the audio version. When I'm at the gym and I'm just trying to do the bare minimum, because let's face it, a lot of us are just doing the bare minimum. Hit it, quit it, say I did it. But then Goggins is in the back of my head like, you better not get off this treadmill. Stay hard. If you read this book, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, my next favorite book is fiction, and I like to swap between motivational and self-help books and fictional stories. These type of books just help me kind of escape my reality and takes my mind to a completely different place, which I think is the point of a fictional book. So, next book that I fully recommend is 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. Y'all, this book is good, okay? It's one of those books where you imagine yourself as the main character. This book is witty and it's sensual and it's funny, but it also packs some punch and explores generational trauma, Black identity, living with an invisible disability, second chances. If you read this book, you know what I'm talking about. This is a really, really good book. I read this in 2 days, y'all. And then I was left feeling sad and empty when it was over. Wishing this was a true story and the main characters were out there living their best lives and thriving. Have y'all done that before? Maybe it's just me. Add this one to your what to read next list because I know you have one. This next read is twofold. It's book 1 and 2 of the Legacy of Orisha trilogy. And the girls that get it, get it. This is Children of Blood and Bone and Children of Virtue and Vengeance by the legendary Tomi Adeyemi. This is a trilogy and book 3 is coming out soon. I really hope. These 2 books came out a few years ago, and like I said, book 3 is coming out soon. But if someone would ask me what my favorite book or books were, I would hold these 2 up, like no joke. I am not really into the YA genre, but y'all, when I purchased these books, well, the first one, I was in Barnes & Noble because I still buy physical copies of books from bookstores. And this Children of Blood and Bone had its own little moment on the display, right? But this was the last book on the shelf. I had never heard of it, never heard of Tomi Adeyemi at this point. I didn't see any reviews for it yet. Clearly, everybody is buying this book because there's nothing on the shelf. Or maybe they were just refreshing the display, I don't know. But I figured that was a really good sign. I said, this might be a good book. So I got it. I got home, I started reading it, and it's one of those books where you just get sucked right in right away. I devoured this book, y'all. I was reading it at dinner. I was reading it on the train. I was reading it in the middle of the night with a book light. Such a beautiful story, and it's currently being adapted into a movie. Get your coin, Tomi, because you deserve. It's often being compared to Harry Potter, but the Black version. And while I love me some Harry, and I am a Gryffindor with a Slytherin rising, the legacy of Orisha trilogy stands on its own, y'all. It is completely in its own lane. Book 1 and book 2 have been read twice by me. One of my main goals in life are to get my book signed. I don't know when or how, but I adore these books and it will be forever on my list of favorites. Next is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Now, I know I'm late to the party with this book, but I am glad that I arrived, okay? Because this was so fun to read. Taylor Jenkins Reid is also the author of many other great titles. One that I think has gone viral on TikTok, which was The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which I also loved. But Daisy Jones and the Six is about Daisy's coming of age story in LA in the 60s and all things sex, drugs, and rock and roll. This book is technically considered historical fiction, but y'all, the writing was so good, I thought Daisy was real. Like, no lie, I Googled, I thought Daisy Jones and the Six was an actual band. And I don't know if that's a testament to how good the writing is in this book, but it was good. Okay, this last one is a bit different, but I think every creative should own this book. It's called The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. And I know you guys have probably seen this book or heard of this book and you've seen it floating around the internet, but I've had this for a few years and I keep it out on my desk, and from time to time, I'll just open it and I'll get into it. It's a very helpful reminder that this creative journey that we're on is a journey, boo. It's not a race, albeit these algorithms will have you thinking otherwise. But this book teaches you that creativity is a practice. It's not just something that you check off your to-do list every day or post to social media. It's a muscle that has to be worked and learned and practiced. So for all of my creators out there, this book is something that you should have in your toolbox. Each page has a date on it, and essentially you should read the small passage from that day and do that every day. So, for example, attitudes are what determine our spiritual altitude. If we are mired in resentment, fear, and animosity, we will interpret events and people through the negative filter. Once we have done that, we will actually react accordingly. The burden of bad attitudes weigh us down. Hello? On a creative pilgrimage, we cannot afford them. It is our attitude that allows us to view difficulties as lessons or opportunities, challenges instead of setbacks. That was it. That was all you had to read for today. This book is truly a hit it, quit it, say I did it. Go pick this book up. You will not be disappointed. Okay, this wraps up my current favorite books. Tell me, what are you reading? Let me know down in the comments below, or give me your book recommendations for something that I should read. I am always looking for new recommendations for books. But tell me what you're reading, boo. I want to hear about it. If no one told you this today, I am proud of you, I believe in you, and there is truly nothing you can't do if you don't put your mind to it. Wherever you are in the world, boo, have a beautiful rest of your day. Always remember, it costs nothing to be kind. Show up and show out today and be the best you that only you can be. Until our next video, we'll chat soon. Peace.